morning. Welcome back to Living Holistic. We're all glad to be back after the storm and all the time off. So today we have with us Stephanie Rocka or Roki, correct?
Yes.
Of Satori Fiori skincare spa. So she offices here in the building at Living Holistic. And then we have our co-host Jonathan.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing good from the storm.
Yeah. And our co-host Heather.
Hey, everybody.
So, Stephanie, would you like to give an introduction of your business?
Absolutely. So I am a licensed esthetician. I have been in business coming up on 5 years now, and I'm also a holistic esthetician. So what does holistic mean? It means body, mind, spirit connection. And what I focus when I work with women and their skin is, as I'm doing a skin analysis and evaluating what's going on, I'm also asking a lot of questions about lifestyle and habits, dietary choices, and just what's going on. Because as we know, as holistic practitioners, that what we eat, what we consume, and our environmental factors definitely impact our health, our well-being, our mind. And so I'm evaluating all of those things when I'm working with people who really want to get to a place where they love their skin and feel confident and beautiful inside and out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love watching people come down the hallway after a service and they're just like, oh.
Yes, providing that place of relaxation, that calm, that serene environment. Oftentimes when I'm giving that facial massage, I'll just kind of hear, spirit speak to my heart, and I'll start kind of just silently praying positive things over people. And so that's really important to me also, is to just kind of bring that energy to my work and that level of positivity and Christ's love, to always keep that infused. And hopefully everything I do, we do our best, right? Yeah. So that's fun to hear that you get to see people walk out and yeah.
So you might have just answered the question then, but if you could take us through like the difference of, like, if I went to a regular esthetician, which are beautiful, fabulous, and wonderful as well, and then came to you, like, what might I experience that's different between the two services? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good question. So I'm very thorough in my consultation. And I know everybody hates paperwork, but it's like we're filling it out and then we're actually going to talk about it. What people fail in their consultations a lot of time. But then on that holistic side, I'm asking about your dietary needs. Like, are you good on your water? What vitamins and supplements do you take? What do you eat the most of in your diet? Oh, when you eat these things, how do you feel in your digestive system? And I also have a really fabulous tool that I use too called face mapping. And so that allows me to see, oh, your acne is primary right here. Well, in face mapping, this area is the small intestine. Then you have small intestine, then large intestine. So we get more clues about what's happening in the body. And that's just not something a traditionally trained esthetician is talking about.
Okay, that's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, and it makes my job more fun too, really.
Yeah.
Because
more of a skin detective.
Exactly, a skin detective, and I'm a Scorpio. We're natural detectives,
So am I.
right? So I'm the question person.
Yeah.
Why? What's going on? Nothing is random, mostly in life, right? And so I'm always looking deeper, like what's the root cause? What's happening? What do we really need to address in your body to get you where you want to be with your skin ultimately, and to feel good too, right?
Yeah, and then you also have the holistic skincare line.
Yes.
So I have crazy sensitive skin. Everything will burn or break me out. And I did a facial. There was not any symptoms after the facial. It was so nice to be able to get a facial and not experience a breakout.
Yeah, absolutely. And for some people, a breakout can happen regardless of the product line And it goes back to what you're already using, because when it comes to acne, acne is a 90-day cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when people are undergoing like an acne boot camp program, they're really working hard to address acne in their skin. Your skin is starting to clear, and then boom, you have this breakout and they get upset and what's happening? I thought this was working. But acne goes through a 90-day cycle. And so the minute if we have a hormone flux, especially for women, maybe we have a sugar mode or a fast food mode, all of those are inflammatory foods, boom, we have a breakout. Because acne is kind of sitting beneath the surface of the skin, so to speak. You can't see it yet, it hasn't formed, but then you have a junk out mode, and then that was just enough inflammation to cause it to go over the edge, and now you've got this breakout. And so people just don't have that full understanding of how acne cycles and how the different factors trigger
But
it.
aside from acne, having just sensitive skin, period, your brand is very clean.
Yes, I have 3 brands that I work with, and Osmosis is my super holistic, crunchy, clean brand, and it's actually, most of their product line is, it'll have a little breast cancer symbol on it, so anytime you see that, you know that it's safe for medically compromised skin. So that means somebody who could be going through chemotherapy, or maybe they just came off of it, or they've been on some very intense antibiotics, medical regimen where their skin is highly sensitive. Right. It's a perfect line for that customer. Absolutely. Rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, and then they have a fabulous philosophy of really working from the inside out to heal the skin. It's not just what we're slapping on top. Osmosis is a fabulous line.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. Good. I'm so glad to know you had a good experience.
Could you take me through a couple of those differences of what your basic cosmetics are versus what Osmosis is? Is it just the base of that it is different?
So the products are clean, yes. Dr. Ben Johnson, who is the formulator, the founder, he was a medical doctor, went holistic. And so yes, the ingredients themselves are very clean. And it's also that, I just totally lost my train of thought. We gotta love that, right? Let me have a drink of my coffee this morning. The ingredients are clean, but it goes back to that philosophy of let's repair the barrier of the skin, which that's really kind of common now with skincare lines. It's also about when you're looking at different skincare lines, and the average person wouldn't know this, but it's how product lines are formulated, what the ingredient is, what the carriers are. So you have liposomal. If you're holistic people, usually are familiar with that term, right? With our supplements of liposomal. So it's about the delivery system, the ability to get those ingredients down. Let's penetrate it deep into the skin so that the skin cells will absorb it out of the voids, those hills and valleys in the skin. They'll reach out and grab those ingredients as they need it. So your delivery system of your skincare is really important, and people just don't know about those things. But I have found in the past, historically, prior to becoming an esthetician, when I would use clean organic lines, that they were nice, but I didn't feel like I really got a benefit from them. I didn't feel like they changed or rejuvenated my skin. Osmosis is a results-driven line. You will see changes in your skin, anti-aging, brightening, more hydration, healing that barrier in your skin. So I've been very pleased with it.
You said there were 3 lines. What are the other 2?
The other 2 I use, the second one is DMK, so I'm considered a DMK certified clinic. DMK is also a great line for people who are looking to truly get in there and rejuvenate, revise the skin. They are similar in philosophy to Osmosis, that it's about what's happening beneath the surface of the skin. And if what's happening beneath the surface of the skin is not functioning correctly, I use an analogy as a factory, then no matter what we're putting on the skin, no matter how many times you come in for a professional treatment, you're going to have a very slow result, or you're going to be kind of spinning your wheels.
And that's the same with most things. Like if your body is dysregulated or you've got a lot of inflammation, it doesn't matter how many supplements you're taking, it's not going to absorb correctly because there's this dysfunction happening inside.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yes. And what's fabulous about DMK is that they have what I call the natural facelift. And it's all enzymes. Like, it's enzymes. And they're about, let's use what the body needs and recognizes. Because if the skin and the body is not recognizing what you're putting on the skin, you're not going to get maximum benefit from it. So they use these enzymes that work with your natural functions of the skin that get everything firing again. It works with your lymphatic
So it
system.
sounds like this because like I'm
Yes, actually. That's the natural facelift, which targets the muscles. They call it muscle banding. So you're lifting and tightening those muscles because as we age, you know, our muscles are atrophying, the face starts to fall, we get a little bit more droopy.
we get hollow, it's beautiful. Men can do it and look handsome, we do it and we look weathered.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm a guy.
You're a guy with the the hair of a woman. So you're blessed.
Yes,
Like
you look wise with your, you know, salt
guys
and
can
pepper.
get pimples, salt and pepper hair. They can have like deep wrinkles, and then we find them
I've been
looking.
working out all day.
They look more distinguished and more
Exactly.
mature. Women, that's not a good thing. So
Yeah.
filters, but I don't do those. But
Same.
the filters are getting a little out of control.
Yeah. Oftentimes you'll go to my page and I have no makeup.
I know.
But I have to be a walking billboard. I walk my talk with what I am promoting and educating. With
And
my
I think
clients.
that's so important. And I do not mean to offend anyone because I understand everybody's bio individual and things are different for everyone. But for me, when I am looking for or shopping for somebody, whether it's esthetician, whether it's masseuse, whether it's personal trainer, if you don't look the part, then I'm going to have a hard time buying into what you're offering or what you're selling.
Yeah.
And especially I do that with personal trainers, and it may not be fair because they may have an under
100%
yeah
fair. 100% fair.
yeah, but if you look like I'm sorry, you need to look fit if I'm going to work out with you. And I know that might sound horrible, but it is what it is. I want to look a certain way. I want you to project what is possible.
Yes.
And if your skin doesn't, if your skin doesn't look healthy, then I'm not really going to want you, number one, to touch my skin, and I'm probably not going to take a lot of advice from you.
Right.
But speaking about sensitive skin, I have very sensitive skin, and I know that, so I don't change from anything I use because I'm too scared to be honest with you. But and actually right now I'm just using tallow, but I tried using some of the little teardrop eye things, right? So I put some on yesterday morning because my eyes were looking a little nasty, and I took them off and everything looked fine. And then I washed my face with my water, sprayed my toner on, which is just rose water. When I sprayed that on my face, it turned bright red in the shape of those teardrops under both eyes. And I'm like, what? So I sent a picture to my girlfriend who's a nurse, and she's like, you might want to take a Benadryl. But I couldn't even cover it up with concealer. So I had these red, perfect shaped teardrops under both my eyes.
The little eye patches. And it's hard because we can look at ingredients and go, well, something does stand out. Yes, this could possibly be it, or I don't know. Like nothing in here really stands out as an active that could have triggered this. And so sometimes it is a mystery. And then my holistic brain starts going, okay, well, do you have high inflammation?
Well, I was just going to say that. So it could be what's happening with me physiologically right now because I've used eye patches in the past and it hasn't been a problem. So I do believe that there's a correlation if you are under a lot of stress. If you're, like you said, have inflammation, then your body's just going to be more sensitive to anything in the environment.
Yes, high histamines. And, here Texas got hit by Hurricane Beryl and people's allergies were congested. We're all kind of stirred up. Yeah. So you could have a high histamine response right now and just not even be aware.
Hey, why not? I have a tree in my backyard, my fence is crashed, my window's leaking, and my AC stopped. Like, throw some histamine in there. I'm all for it.
Mold stuff is high right now. So, absolutely.
Poor Jonathan doesn't even have power back yet.
Stop it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Centerpoint saying maybe tomorrow.
Oh.
I didn't realize there was so much maintenance into running a generator.
Yes.
24/7.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow, okay.
I'm sorry, that's awful.
Change the alert. Yeah, it's not as awful as not having power.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I told him
for sure.
we needed his community built by now.
Hey,
We all would have been
exactly.
great.
Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing. Growing up in the Mormon Church, like in any time like this, there wasn't any downtime because somebody needed help.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting not being part of that community anymore. It's like the first thing you do when you wake up that next day, it's like, okay, let's make sure the family's taken care of, make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah.
All right, now what can I do for my neighbor?
And not to move away from you because I want to continue talking to you, but I find it really sad too because that mentality is like what we all should be doing is trying to help.
Right.
Like I can only do so much, but I've called to try to offer help to my friends that I can. And here we've got these contractors who I know they are being overworked, but they're inflating the prices because it's an opportune time to do so, and they're taking advantage of people who need help. And I'm really put off by that.
So there's two ways for it, right? In my eyes. So you've got let's say the vendor or the landscape, the company who's literally has the pick of the litter.
Yeah.
They have 100 people calling in a day.
Yep.
They need to do the best not only they can for themselves but for their families. And so if I'm being charged with making as much money for my company at this moment and my family, then I really need to pick the client that's doing it for $100 from the client that's doing it for 20. Like I should. But the problem I think in today right now is we're so used, us as parents, us as grandparents, us as adults, we're so used to having other people provide those services for us for a very low cost, or we're making enough money to be able to feel that cost, that we don't worry about that infrastructure being there. When right now, we need groups of people that can be like, hey, I need a project manager to take down this tree that's on my neighbor's house. Like, who finds a project manager for that? Who actually can get that job done? I can get 5 guys together, but we don't know anything about actually doing a job.
Right, and I'm referring to people like, let's say a lawn service that typically charges this standard price for this job. Now they're inflating it because they can. That's what I'm referring to, and I think that's so wrong. Or they're heavily inflating the cost of material. It's just they're taking advantage of people's circumstances, and it's not everybody, but there are a lot. Because trust me, I've been calling a lot, and it's like it's asinine.
Yeah, my husband works for Eldridge Roofing, and every year throughout the year, it's $850 for a tarp job. You call around right now, and there's companies charging $3,000 to $5,000 to do a tarp job.
It's morally wrong.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Stephanie. We got segued, but
it all
it's
comes
talking about
back.
sensitivity still, right?
Yeah.
And the summer skincare. Right now, we all just experienced this huge storm, allergies, and we're sitting in heat, and our skin's just melting off our face. So what do you offer for the summer skincare?
So, summer, I'm all about the sunscreen, and it can be this fine walk, and at the end of the day, I feel like my job is to just give people the knowledge, and then it's up to you to make the right choice for you. But I am an advocate of sunscreen. I tell my ladies, look, you need to cover the areas that you, as you're aging, you want to feel good about. So, there's a lot of talk about get out in the sun in the morning, sun your eyes, first thing in the morning, and that's fine. That's a beautiful practice.
That's true.
I don't have any problem.
Yeah, there's a way.
yeah.
This I actually did a post on this, but the UVB. I think it is the UVB. Getting into the whites of your eyes and what it does for you in the morning and helps you wake up, resets your circadian rhythm, the amount of vitamin D you absorb.
Like there's so many other better ways to do that.
I do it. I get up in the morning and I look right. I take my walk, and for like 10 minutes, I do put sunscreen on, but I'm very specific on what sunscreen I use because I do think there are better natural alternatives other than a sunscreen, but I do put it on my face right now. But I am investigating other things. But I go out in the morning, first thing without sunscreen, and I don't wear my sunglasses, and I just let it all
It's like
absorb.
10 minutes maximum. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
a
what
long
I do.
time.
I do it for like 10-15 minutes, and then
Hold on. But to be staring up at the sun?
no,
or
you're not
just be
eyeballing it.
sun?
No,
like
just having your
like
eyes
towards
open.
it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not like
what are we doing to ourselves?
no, I'm not doing this and walking my but I will put my head back and I'll just be like, for a second and just like
Right.
just have a minute of stillness and like feel the sun on my face. But no, I'm just walking without sunglasses. I'm not staring in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Don't do that.
That's one thing that they got right with the sunscreen for the
Yeah.
burkas.
Yeah.
Those burka bathing suits.
What?
The burka bathing suits.
Oh,
your
Where you
cover.
really
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
shine
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I don't even know stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the
have to worry about
you
sunscreen.
threw me off with bathing suit. I was like, what? Like there's a onesie like that?
There it is. Yeah.
But so going back to sunscreen, like everybody's concerned about cancer, whether it's from the sun, whether it's because of product you're putting on your skin. So there are sunscreens that you can get that are mineral based.
Yes.
Okay, so mineral is your zinc oxide, your titanium. And what's great about the mineral based is it's literally a protective shield. So when the sun's rays come in and hits the skin, they're hitting the minerals and it bounces off. If you have a sunscreen that is mineral based and chemical, both, which that's the cancer causing. What happens when it's that combination of chemical and mineral is that now the rays are coming into the skin, they're hitting the chemicals, but they're penetrating into the skin first, now bouncing out, and it creates this potential cancer opportunity because of the chemical ingredients in the sunscreen. So I just tell people, find a mineral-based sunscreen.
Yep.
The mineral-based sunscreens that are 100% mineral are also usually water resistant for up to 60 to 80 minutes.
Yeah.
My understanding about the sunscreens was being mineral based, the molecules are larger, so it allows it to stay on top of the skin better, and then the chemicals have smaller molecules that are going more into the skin.
More into the
Is
skin,
that
yeah.
accurate?
That's accurate, and it has to do with what's reflective and at what point they're being reflective. So just keep in mind with what you said, when it's physical, that it's not entering the skin, the UVA, UVB. And so UVA is your aging ray, your UVB is your burn ray. And so you mentioned the burqa bathing suit.
Mm-hmm.
I do have ladies that wear the hijab, and because this is all covered, their skin is beautiful.
I'm sure it is.
Oh,
Like untouched by the sun. And especially for women, because men usually go shirtless, right, in the sun. But for a woman, if you want to know your true skin's health,
Oh, mine's old.
as a woman,
Look at
stand
this.
in front of the mirror and your breast tissue around the areola, look how beautiful and healthy that skin looks as compared to your chest, your neck, your décolleté area. And when I'm revising a woman's skin, and I tell them this, or you could even look at this area here, if this is an area that doesn't have a lot of sun exposure for you, this is your potential that we can get you back to. Even though this has all been sun damaged, but if you look around the skin, around the breast tissue, or even under the arms, it's like, look how healthy and beautiful the color, the quality of the skin is. We can actually work to get you back there. And so my DMK skincare line that we mentioned earlier does a fabulous job at that.
It wouldn't be Heather if I wasn't a little controversial. I'll ask the actual hard questions, okay? But I have to ask because if I'm thinking of somebody else's. So I used to spend a ton of money on all the high-end skincare products, and they were great. There was nothing, I saw differences, I liked them, but I just was tired of spending so much money on them. So and then I've got a little bit more crunchy, if you will, and I've been looking at other things, and I started using just castor oil on my face, and that was fabulous. And then I started doing tallow mixed with castor oil with like frankincense in it, and I've noticed that just using that and getting away from the products, my skin is staying hydrated, where I would, even with the most expensive products, have a hard time keeping the hydration, and my eyes would look a little bit more just dried out and wrinkled, or it would look a little bit more crepey on my cheeks. And now using just castor oil and tallow, my skin has never been better. Is there some, I guess, truth, benefit, because you're just using all natural products that are packed with all the vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin D, all of the E, that aside from necessarily having to use the expensive skincare products?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and there's a lot of debate around that. I 1,000% am on board with castor oil. That people have been using that on the skin for years
as
now.
long as it's hexane free, cold pressed, organic,
yes,
very
high quality
high quality
product.
castor oil.
Yeah, we're assuming. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
and just all the health benefits. You can put it in your eyes. You can, cold compresses for the liver cleanse, all the health benefits. So 1,000% on that. Tallow, coconut oil. I have in the past, before I became an esthetician, used coconut oil. My skin was dry. It feels great on the skin right when you put it on, and then 30 minutes later, you're dry again. I have chosen not to experiment with tallow, so I can't personally speak to tallow. But you want to go back and look at the lipid makeup of these fats and what is the lipids, the fats, the oils in your body and your skin made up of. So if you really want to take the holistic approach to truly hydrating your skin, it goes back to your essential fatty acids. And so when we're looking at diet and nutrition, anytime we see the word essential before that word, that means your body doesn't produce it. You have to get it in through your food source or supplement. Okay, so we already know as Americans, like everybody is deficient in their essential fatty acids, your good omegas, like everybody is. So when it comes to your skin barrier, what makes up your skin barrier? Your fats, your lipids. That's where oil production comes from, is your good fats. And think about it like this. Maybe in our younger days, we were on vacation or we were just teenagers and we were binge junking on fried foods and we were greasy. We were extra oily. But if you can substitute good fats, same concept, you're getting those good oils in, and your barrier is made up of oil from your good fats and water from your food that you consume, and getting your good water intake. So really that would be my approach first with somebody who comes in with like chronic dry skin, just constantly red and inflamed skin. That's a lack of hydration, oil, and water. So when going back to your question about tallow, is it a good thing? I would say try it out. Give it a good 6 months. Give it a good 6 months so that you really know. When you're touching your skin as a woman who uses skincare, even a man as well, you touch your skin throughout the day, you should be able to feel your skincare. Like a mild tacky.
Now I'm gonna get acne because I'm gonna touch my face.
Well, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you should be able to tell, oh yeah, I did my skincare. I can feel it. If you, an hour to lunchtime, and you touch your skin and it's like, I don't feel like I have anything on my skin.
It'll feel dry.
It'll still dry?
Yeah.
Then you're not as hydrated as you could be. You're not as hydrated as you could be. And so that is where I come in and I'm like, well, what are you using? What could we tweak? It doesn't mean throwing everything out. But what can we tweak? Maybe we just need to switch your moisturizer and see. And most people should be doing a skincare regimen morning and evening. Just to keep those levels. I can tell you in general, a good moisturizer for the skin, in addition to getting in your water and your essential fatty acids every day, is making sure what you're putting on topically has humectant. So humectants draw water from your environment or internally from those deeper layers up to the surface, and an occlusive ingredient, both. So occlusive meaning it's going to create a barrier to keep any hydration in so it doesn't evaporate. So that's why I find my crunchy granola ladies come in and they're like, I just use coconut oil for moisturizer. They're all dry.
Yeah, I've never tried that.
Dehydrated, which is a different layer. You're dehydrated on your deeper layer.
But I think with anything, like you mentioned, even with your skincare, you're talking about the quality of it and how clean it is, right? I think even if you are somebody that wants to experiment with, like, the castor oil has to be high grade, high quality, or tallow needs to be sourced from a good grass. Well, you explain tallow. You know more about the tallow, but it can't just. You're not just taking something out of your pan and throwing it on your face. Like, it needs to be clean and healthy.
And a lot of people will look at a tallow product and they will evaluate how is it made, what kind of fats were used, that sort of thing. You have to look at a tallow product from the time of conception with it. The live animal, how it was raised, how it was fed, its water source, the whole stretch. So, for instance, my tallow comes from an Amish community because I know the land is pure, the food is pure, everything's pure.
From Minnesota, by the way, which is where my hometown is. So
Yeah.
good stuff comes from Minnesota.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider.
But like you said, it's oil and water.
Yes.
And so that's another misconception.
No product
people
is going to
have.
help a bad diet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have somebody come in and say, I drink a gallon of water a day. What kind of water are you drinking?
Mm-hmm.
And do you have minerals that you need in your body to push the water where it needs
Exactly.
Yes, and then it goes back to gut health, which we mentioned earlier, because if your gut is not functioning correctly, it's not going to be absorbing the minerals, the salts, the magnesium, all the things that we're consuming from our diets. And I have women tell me all the time, I drink about a gallon of water today, and I am dehydrated.
But here's the deal, and I tell my clients this too with the water. I try to get them to slow down and sip it because we get so hot here in Texas that everybody wants to guzzle. And I just explain to them, like, okay, imagine if you're trying, if you've got you this tiny little cell and you want the water to go in it, and you're just dumping a waterfall on it. Most of it's going to fall outside. It's going to be extracellular. It's not going into the cell. We need to sip it, and we need to make sure that we have enough of our sodium in order for it, and the magnesium in order to pull it into the cell. So just because you're drinking a gallon of water does not mean you're hydrated.
Yeah, your body's not utilizing
and so,
it.
And that comes back to what you're talking about, skincare. So like, it is important that when you're drinking it, number one, you have to make sure your body is absorbing it, which means that you need to be ingesting the right minerals, and you need to slowly drink your water, not chug it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed when I started taking minerals that when I was drinking, I felt like I was just in the bathroom every 5 minutes, just every 5 minutes. But when I started taking minerals, it helped my body to pull it into the cell, like you just said, and I wasn't in the bathroom as frequent. So pay attention to that.
Yeah, that will help your skin immensely.
Yes, and if your urine, TMI, is just clear like water, then that's not proper hydration either. Your urine should be mildly yellow.
And that's a misconception that some MDs say. It's like, well, if your urine is bright yellow, you're dehydrated. Okay, that's true. So you want it to be more clear. No, you don't want it to be clear.
Yeah,
you don't want it to be your body
body's
clear.
not using it.
Because your body, that means you're just peeing it out, but it's not coming from your cells.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, I've loved having you explain all of this to the community. Do you have any specials, any products that you'd like to highlight or offer before we close?
Well, speaking to the women, and we're in this Texas humid heat, and we're sweating, and we just feel yuck on the face. And people are like, ugh, wearing makeup right now, foundation, all the heavy stuff doesn't feel good. A great alternative is using a tinted sunscreen. And the one that I love that I offer my customers is by PCA Skin. It is a mildly tinted sunscreen. It's just enough color correction. Almost every skin tone can wear it. You can still put blush and do full face, your eye makeup with it. But that's what you're replacing your foundation with. And if you are an aging woman, and foundation, I'm 47 when I'm saying this. I have my hand up,
Wasn't looking at me.
Or an aging man who likes to wear, just a little correction. You got some redness in your skin, some little capillaries. It's a great alternative because it's not heavy. It gives you some color correction, and it's 100% mineral based. And then you get that,
I love it.
It's the best. It's just the best of both worlds. Yeah, and then you don't look so dry and crusty. If you're an older, I have an older skin, and so wearing foundation is hard for me
Looking
now.
at your skin right now, no,
Well,
you have beautiful skin.
Yeah.
And this is a tinted sunscreen that I'm wearing
But
today.
it also is a testament to you practice what you preach.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to grow old gracefully. It's not about stopping aging, but it's like, let's manage it in the best way that we can.
Me too,
Right,
but I'm not
yeah.
opposed to a little down the line.
Well, we'll do the natural facelift.
Okay.
We'll do the DMK facelift. Yeah.
All right, so join us next week. We'll have Dr. Eulander. She is a naturopath physician that offices here in the building every Monday for her patients. And then come visit Satori Fiori Skincare with Stephanie at Living Holistic this week. And we will see you later.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great day.